Now, we're gonna spend the first few minutes in sound check. Can you hear me? Can you hear the game? How is things? Mike, good. Okay. It's moving the little bar to say that there's desktop audio. So do you guys hear the game? I've just turned it down ever so slightly while I'm yammering. But please let me know if for any reason you can't hear the rain sounds. I think we can hear everything. Oh, thank goodness. Hello, everybody. I'm going to go through and greet everybody in chat here in a second. Holy man, what a time it has been. Some of you know this story, some of you don't. Oh boy, my friends. Oh boy. We got Key with first. Key, thank you so much for making this happen, because without you, it, let's be honest, probably wouldn't be happening. Faded Stardust, subscribed with your Prime sub. Thank you so much. You could have used that anywhere, and you chose to use it here, so I appreciate the hell out of that. Sardonisms. I lost my streak because I was in the hospital after getting my skull cut open. So rude, Twitch. That is rude. And I've noticed that the repairing of streaks hasn't been working because I lost pretty much all my streaks over the break as well. But welcome back, Sardonisms. I hope you have recovered, and I hope you're doing okay. Sorry about the jump scare. I forgot to check the desktop audio before I hit the start streaming button. Mai is here. Mai, welcome back to you. It's good to have you here. Say hello. Apparently I wasn't following before. I don't even know, like, what is your time zone situation like right now? I imagine it must be pretty late for you when I'm streaming. But we're here. We're doing it. Off to a great start. Seems like it. Listen, I hit the button and it didn't immediately explode. That to me is progress. I was so worried you wouldn't come back from break until I was back at work, but you're back. I get 1 week where I can actually write new writing streams. Heck yeah. I wanted to be back sooner. There are reasons that didn't happen. We'll go over some of them here in a second. But we're back. We're back, baby. I feel totally fine for 2 to 3 hours at a time. I guess this level of tired is normal. Apparently getting your skull cut open and a chunk of bad brain meat scooped out is exhausting. That sounds accurate. Like, I imagine that your body is putting a lot of energy into recovering from the surgery, and I imagine that's probably why you feel tired. I was gonna say gunky. That's a me thing. When I get really tired, I feel like, it's hard to describe, but I feel like gunky. Like my brain is gunky. But I realized as soon as I started to say it, that might not make sense to literally everyone else, because no one else might think of being tired that way. It's almost 8 p.m., so in Sayed time, it's barely even afternoon. Dang. Well, I'm glad to see you, Sayed. I hope you're doing well. Got to hang out with Say and a bunch of the other lovely people from Sandream stream on Saturday for her birthday. So I guess since we have our usual yammer time at the beginning of chat, some of you might be wondering, what the heck? Where was Megan for, I think it was actually 4 weeks or so that I was gone, which was not the intention when we signed off on our last stream. What the heck happened? So as many of you know, because we talked about it pretty extensively back in December, I had been having computer troubles for a little while. I need to change the background lighting because I prefer this map at night. I had been having some computer trouble prior to the break. We had been having some random crashes and some just general weirdness, which the lovely Key Kilbatross in chat had been helping me out with. And so we decided... you were gone like a month. I know, right? So we decided, like, we got it to a point where it seemed like it was stable, although I wasn't using my computer very much over the break. We had family here. Ghost's family came here for Christmas which was wonderful because we didn't have to travel. And I think it went really well. But also it meant I wasn't using my computer very much because I was out with the family and we were doing stuff. So I wasn't using it very much, but we decided, it looked a lot like Joe. Yes, I'm back and I'm telling the story right now. You're just in time. So it looked to us, because the problems had been so intermittent and so spread out. Like, I was getting crashes once every, like, 9 to 12 days, which in a hardware situation is kind of weird, because you expect a hardware situation to be very immediate and very easy to replicate. So we were like, it has to be Windows corruption. And it did seem like, from the way Windows was acting, there was some bad update got pushed in there at some point, and it just never fully sort of recovered. So we were like, let's reinstall Windows. Let's just clean everything out. It'll get back to good, and it'll be simple. It'll be fast. I've reinstalled Windows, like, I want to say 20 million times. It hasn't been that many. I went to school for IT and networking. I've installed Windows a lot. I'm, in fact, used to older Windows installations, which used to take 3 hours. So compared to that, installing Windows 10 or 11 is like a breeze, especially on an NVMe drive. So Key, my Epic support person, and I, we get on to, a call with each other. We're hanging out. Sure was a breeze. We're doing the thing, and it fails. The installation failed. And then it failed again. And then it continued to fail. So we figured out, worked first try, totally didn't spend 6 hours reinstalling Windows. We figured out that when we first made the ISO to install Windows, there was a network drop, because we were both watching Ghost's stream at the time, and there was a little network hiccup. So we were like, okay, let's remake the ISO, let's try again. And we did, and it seemed like that was gonna fix it, but no. It didn't. So we went into the BIOS and we turned off XMP, which is something that Key had been suggesting for a while. I'm a very systematic troubleshooter, because I want to find out what the problem is. It did get farther. It got all the way to the just a moment. I have so many pictures on my iPad, because I was on a call with Key and we couldn't get my camera working on the iPad so that he could see things. So I was just taking photos with my iPad and sending them to him. It got all the way to the just a moment, like it's configuring Windows for your first time, and then it was like, hey, your PC restarted, it has a problem, and then it just failed again. So we went into the BIOS, we turned off XMP, which, in fairness, Key had been telling me to turn off for a while, but I wanted to do it systematically, because I knew that when I went to the extended warranty company, they were going to ask, well, what did you try? We turned off XMP, Windows installed. So there was screaming, because I realized it was the RAM. The RAM was the thing the whole time. The whole time it was the RAM. And I read so many threads about the problem that I was having, where people were like, it only crashes with Chrome. Chrome's the only thing that crashes it. If you switch to Firefox, that works fine, but I had to change my RAM. And I was like... So I knew that somewhere, somehow, it was going to be a RAM problem. I am cursed, I think. Everyone tells me I'm not cursed, but I feel cursed, because I have had so many computer problems in my life. And I even, like, the one time I was sitting on Woof's stream and I was like, who has had a computer die on them? And most people were like, never. And I was like, almost every computer that I've owned. My computer before this ate 2 hard drives, and it had RAM issues before that. My computer before that was a laptop, and the motherboard was faulty, and I eventually had to get a new motherboard ordered from China in order to replace the hard drive, because the hard drive died on me. Now that laptop was, like, old when that happened. Like, seriously old. But, like, I just feel like I lose the I lose the computer lottery a lot. I don't do anything, Faded Stardust. I just turn them on and use them. I don't even feel like I use my computer as hard as Ghost Pepper uses his computer, and yet mine are the ones that, like, die. I swear, like, I was so careful with this computer, too. Like, there were certain websites I wouldn't even go on because they had aggressive ads, and I was like, I was so precious about this fucking computer. Um, so we turned off XMP, Windows installed. There was screaming because literally the first crash happened in mid-October, which was literally 2 months past the original warranty for this computer. Like a month and a half past the original warranty. There's no words. Um, So I contacted the company, I put in a claim, I was like, the RAM is bad, I want replacement RAM. But we figured, we turned off XMP, it might be more stable now. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. So about 3 days after we reinstalled Windows, and it seemed like everything was working out okay. I did some hangouts with people online, I was starting to use my computer more often, I was getting things reinstalled. And then Wednesday night, I sat down to install my fonts, which it turns out I have a lot of fonts. I have a friend that I used to tease about being a massive font nerd, and I think I have to stop doing that because I think I counted like 40 fonts. So I was installing my fonts. It seems like it was going fine. I took a break to eat. I came back. I was installing my fonts, and it crashed. Windows crashed. But this time it gave me a memory error. Like, straight up memory error. And I was like, you fucking son of a bitch. Pardon my language, but I was like, you fucker. So instantly shut the computer down, and Ghost was curling at the time. 40's not that many. Graphics designers have hundreds. I didn't realize I even had 40. What was ironic too was that I had decided that I was done installing the fonts, and I was like exiting out of the like settings when the crash happened. It was total bananas. Ghost was curling at the time, so I can't lift my computer. This boy here, this is Langdale. For any of you who haven't been formally introduced, this is Langdale. That's my boy. He's the boy we've been talking about all this time. And I can't lift him. He's too heavy. I can't do it on my own. And there was this internal debate that I kept running with myself where I was like, you could totally do this right now. And I was like, no, if you try to lift that thing, you're going to destroy yourself. You're going to drop the computer. It's going to be bad. So I waited until, the next morning, and Ghost helpfully helped me lift it. He actually did the RAM swap. It took him like 3 minutes. We pulled the RAM out of my old computer because that RAM was still good. I didn't stop using that computer because of the RAM. I stopped using that computer because of the hard drive. So we pulled the RAM out of the old computer. We put it in this computer. And this is where we sit now. Langdale is the same as the day I bought him, except new RAM. New old RAM. I had 2 sticks of 16 gig HyperX Fury. Which I guess HyperX isn't the brand name anymore. It's just Fury now. Kingston has rebranded to just Fury, but it's the same company. Same company that made the hard drive that's in there, actually. And that's where we are today. That's where we are right now. Took the RAM out of the old computer, put it in this one. Called the warranty company, just absolutely panicking, because at that point I didn't know if the RAM that for my old computer was actually going to work. And they sent me a refund. They did not send me replacement RAM, which doesn't actually shock me. But they didn't. I have the refund check now, so I feel like I can talk about this. They didn't just send me the money to replace my RAM. They actually refunded the entire computer. And the email was literally like, here's a refund so that you can buy a new computer on Newegg. So I never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that they would just refund everything. I was like, they're gonna send me. I expected to get at most $200 for RAM, which would not buy me new RAM, because as Faded Stardust pointed out, RAM is stupid expensive right now. So I was like, okay, if they send me like 200 or 250, we'll throw in some house money, like some house budget if I need to buy new RAM. They refunded everything. So the Megan Cutler Emergency Computer Fund has been born. We decided that that money is going to be earmarked for the next time I need a computer part or / computer. That's probably only enough to cover the RAM replacement these days. Listen, it's wild. This is the wildest thing I think that's ever happened to me. But I expected at most to get maybe $300. 262 USD for the RAM. Megan, we need off of Amazon right now. Yeah, I think the last time I priced it, it was like $350 Canadian. I could get some cheap $300 RAM, maybe, if I went with a lesser known brand. Belwraith, hello. So if you guys are wondering, why did Megan vanish? Usually over the break she does craft streams. It's unusual for her to just pop out of existence for so long. That's what was happening. I had to reinstall Windows. I had to swap my RAM. I had to get everything reset up. I literally set OBS up on Friday. Friday is when I actually sat down. Yeah, cheap. $300 cheap RAM. Friday night was when I sat down and actually did my reinstall of OBS. Sunday was when I reinstalled Photoshop and like Adobe Acrobat and all that. So I've got most of my programs installed now. I haven't reinstalled Calibre, which is the program that I use to do my ebooks, but it's not a really intensive program, so I'm not anticipating any problems from it. And all along the way, every step of the way, there's been moments where I'm just like, am I gonna hit this button and everything's gonna come crashing down? There was genuinely a part of me that was worried that as soon as I hit the start stream button, my computer was gonna crash this morning, and I was just like preparing for it. Last week I woke up to a really lovely comment on a fan fiction I wrote almost 10 years ago. Oh, sardonisms, that's amazing. Famous last words, what? That it seems to be okay? So yeah, that's what happened. That's where I was. I did not push to do... Usually when I have to set up Windows again, I do it really in a, like, super concentrated manner. But I was on break, and I had a 4,000-piece puzzle that I had been looking forward to doing for months, which I did finish. There's pictures on the Discord. So it was very much a case of I didn't want it taking over... I didn't want the reinstall taking over my whole life. It had already taken up quite a lot of my life, given that it took almost 6 hours to freaking get it installed in the first place. But here we are. Oh, I forgot to mention, too, just to rub salt in the wound, the day, I think it was the day my RAM died, or the day before, I came in here, and I noticed there was a little black line just right along the edge of my screen, my primary monitor, like right between where my two monitors sit. And I was like, oh, that must be some weird setting. Started looking for the setting. Couldn't find anything that affected it. Took a screenshot. It wasn't in the screenshot. So Key was like, hey, just power cycle the monitor. So I did, and when the monitor logo turns on, the line is still there. So we were like, it's dead pixels. So when we swapped the RAM, I also swapped my monitors. So what used to be my primary monitor is now my secondary monitor, because now basically the line is out of, because it's right along the far edge, so it's out of sight line for the most part, unless I go looking for it. I can see it if I look for it. And my secondary monitor is now my primary monitor. I know. It was like salt in the wound. It was like the universe was like, you haven't quite had enough. Just, here's an extra thing for you. And then last week I was sick, is what it comes down to. I probably would have been able to stream last week if I hadn't been sick. But I had bad lady times. I felt like a dumpster fire. I basically would do my work and then go pass out on the couch. I started watching a show called Code Black on Disney Plus. So it just kind of worked out that I was sick at a time, because I would have been able to finish some of this stuff much sooner if I hadn't been sick. But we're here now. The computer did not explode or implode when I hit the start stream button. Stream started. I'm talking to you guys. I have all these programs open and ready for working. So theoretically, here we are. Theoretically, here we are. I played golf with your friends, with Sandream's crew for 3.5 hours on Saturday, and had Discord and stream open, and that was fine. Everything went fine. So here we are. Both computers are plugged into my monitors because work gave me 2 monitors and I'm gonna use them. I'm dealing with only 2 of 3 monitors. I don't know what I would do with a 3rd monitor. My secondary monitor occasionally goes back for 2 to 3 seconds. Pretty sure it's an issue with the monitor, not the driver, because it happens on both my work laptop and my personal desktop. My monitor used to switch off once a day as well, but it only happened on my old computer. It stopped happening when I moved to this computer. Never figured out what that was about. Isn't Code Black a medical thriller that they have on T+? Yes, it is. I'm into season 2 now, and I kind of liked season 1 better. I kind of feel like they changed what the show was about in between seasons. But I've been enjoying it. It was my watch this while I'm high on painkillers show, and I enjoyed it. I love Mama. Mama's the best. So here we are. I promise I did do non-computer things during the break. At the very beginning of break, back like right after our last stream, Ghost and I did something called Burger and Curl. So Ghost is part of a amateur curling league here in town. He and a bunch of his male coworkers get together. Actually, I think they have some ladies on the team too, so I shouldn't even say male coworkers. It's him and his coworkers. They get together every Wednesday. They do curling league. And during the off season, when they had some of their sheets closed down to remake the ice, the curling club ran something called Burger and Curl, and we basically went and we curled for about 2 hours, and then we had burgers for lunch, and it was great. And there's a picture somewhere in the Discord. I got 2 scoring stones into the rings. My very first shot in an actual game, I got into the rings, and it was a scoring shot. And then our very last game, I got a stone, not quite as well placed, but I got a stone into the rings, and then I set up a guard for it accidentally. And we ended up scoring. So your girl did some curling, and it was great. There was a lot of failure. Multi-talented, really. Or lucky. There was a lot of failure. I find that when I'm shooting, I can do either speed or control. I can't do both yet. I can't get the power into it and control it. If I do power, then it's just gonna go wherever it ends up going. But that was really fun. We did that. As I mentioned, we had Ghost's parents and his brother here for Christmas, and I think that went really well. I baked the cookies. I was the cookie baker this year. There were a couple of kitchen disasters. I don't like people to see me. I could never do a cooking stream because I don't like people to see me in the kitchen. I'm a disaster. Just all over the place. Like, total, like, at one point I was pretty sure one of the batches of cookies was gonna fail because I could not get it, the batter was just super wet and I just could not get it to be workable. But I managed and everybody loved them and it was great. But I baked cookies. I was the cookie baker. Ghost's mom used our kitchen a ton. We made homemade pierogies, which was super delicious. We streamed with Mama Pepper. That was actually my last stream of the year, was streaming with Mama Pepper. We made some watermelons. I don't think I saved that stream VOD either, unfortunately, because of everything that was going on. But we did have a stream with Mama Pepper. And she enjoyed it. I think she enjoyed chatting with you guys. You guys were on good behavior that day, I feel. Yeah, and I did a 4,000 piece puzzle called the Night House Maze, which has a bunch of like action horror sci-fi movie references on it, and it is a maze. Now that it's put together, I can actually solve the maze, which is pretty cool. Mama Pepper is a delight. Yes, you guys were on very good behavior for Mama Pepper, which I appreciated. I expected at least a couple wild questions in there. I expected to have to lean over a couple times and be like, you don't have to answer that, but you guys were on really good behavior. Also, hey, Rai. So yeah, it was a good break. Despite everything that happened with my computer, it was a good break. Ghost and I had a pretty good time. We did another craft store run on, I almost said Black Friday, on Boxing Day, which in Canada, Boxing Day is like kind of as big as Black Friday when it comes to deals and stuff. A lot of things go on sale on Boxing Day. So we popped to the local craft stores, and one of the places that we frequent quite a lot, had I think it was 15% off. It was like 10 or 15% off everything in store. And they had the out of print, we had been looking for, Ghost is going to put together some character models for me. And we had been looking for one of the 30-minute sisters. I think it's Shirumi, I think. I don't know if I'm saying it right at all. But she's out of print, and they had her. So we were able to get the models for the base of Rose that I want to do, which is amazing. Ghost was able to get another model that he had been eyeing up on sale. And yeah, it was super good. It was a good break. Gonna die in a snowstorm next weekend? No, Rai. We're getting our once every decade big one. It's so crazy because the East Coast is getting hammered by winter. We've had like at most snow flurries. We have not had snow that has lasted the day. If it snows here, it's gone by afternoon. It's crazy. Like, we've just had almost no snow. Cooking streams are terrifying. I like your cooking streams, though, Key. Is it because people are watching you, though? I can't cook when people are watching me. So when you do good, it's like a random chance. I definitely think the first stone was luck. Afterwards, I did get Ghost to teach me how to actually curl the stones. And so the second one was probably a little bit more controlled than the first one. 3 to 6 inches Saturday, 17 to 21 Sunday, and 1 to 3 Monday. Dang. Keep dry. Keep warm. Keep safe. It's 5 Fahrenheit and we have a bit of snow. Yeah, we've had like none this year. Usually we do get a fair amount of snow in January, but it has not. It has been wet. It has been rainy. I can't say it's been dry. It's been wet and rainy. It's pretty overcast right now, although I don't think it's going to rain today. But we've not had snow. Snow has just not... snow has just not been a thing. Well, looking at the clock, as I've now turned it on, I think we've yammered quite a lot. We might get rain this weekend. It's also like 68 here. I don't know what the temperature is here, but I do think it's above freezing. So... Anyway, hopefully I've answered all your burning questions about what we've been up to while we were away. If anyone's curious about anything, go ahead and go ahead and ask anything I didn't cover. We are going to be working on Sonata of the Satellites today, which is the fourth trilogy of the Celestial Serenade. I originally only planned the Celestial Serenade to be 3 books, let's be honest. And then it became 6, and I wrote an ending for the series at the end of 6. And then 3 more books popped into my head while I was writing those 4, 5, and 6. So there was a time jump between book 6 and 7. And then there was book 7, 8, and 9. And as I was editing book 9, I was like, this is it. This is the for real last book. There's not going to be any more. And then I thought of another story arc that really sort of rounded everything out and completed it. But of course I had to wait until I finished writing the Aravalia Chronicles, because I had already started writing the Aravalia Chronicles at that point. What's the average airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? African or European? That's the question, right? That's the counter question. Blue. So yeah, so I wrote another trilogy for the Celestial Serenade to round it out. We wrote it in 2024, so I did not touch it at all in 2025. I can't believe it's 2026, man. My brain is still in 2025 mode. Gets flung into the pit. I don't know! So yeah, you can see the word count down there, 356,000. That is for the entire trilogy. It may grow or shrink. Hopefully it'll stay roughly the same. I noticed that the first 2 books are almost exactly the same length. They're both 113,000 words, and then the last book is 128, because of course it is. But that's what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be working on edits. Last week, while I was feeling like a dumpster fire, I went through the first book and I outlined all of my edits, and I was very happy with this book. It's a dual timeline book, which means it jumps back and forth between the present. It's actually a triple timeline book, because there's a very, very past portion that it shows as well, but it jumps back and forth between the present and the past. And I tried to write it in such a way that the 2 timelines inform each other. So essentially, each timeline gives you a little bit more information about the overarching story of what's happening. Even though it's kind of opposite events. So right now, in the past, there's a war, and in the present, they're trying to prevent a war, and so on. So I'm really happy with how I wrote this, which I did remember it being a little bit of a disaster, so I'm really happy with how at least the first book is pretty solid. So we're going to be working our way through 2 scenes of that this morning, so there won't be as many clicky clacks as you guys have come to know and expect. There's going to be a lot of intense staring at the screen today, but we will be writing tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to resume work on My Little Domarin. We're going to do a scene, an act for that tomorrow, so there'll be lots of clicky clackies tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we're going to be going through the outline of the final Everyone's Child book, because I finally finished writing that, and we're going to be making sure the outline matches what I wrote, because I changed it quite significantly in the middle. And then we're also going to be notating what edits to do for that. My situational awareness clacks. I know! Listen, there's still going to be some. There will be, I will type things occasionally, but I won't be typing consistently for the entire 30 minutes. So, as you know, you can redeem. I'm just going to kind of click here for now. But you can redeem a spirit companion that we hang out with, which I see that Faded Stardust has already chosen Shadow the Hedgehog for our first round of sprints here. You can also choose an activity, and you can also choose the location where we hang out. So the activity comes with like the physical location within the room, and then the like other location is the background that'll be in the windows. Underwater City, and I forget what time is good for that one. Let's see if anyone does a activity, because the good thing is that all of the backgrounds are now in both the train and the other rooms. So we can do the Underwater City anywhere now, which is super fun. So we will preview those. I'm going to probably take a quick cheeky break here. Pickles next sprint, you got it. I actually loaded, because I think we had been in Domeran's preset during one of the last streams, and I actually loaded in just recently, like last week, I loaded in to Domeran's preset, and we still had him paired with Pickles. So it made me think of you when I switched over. So yeah, if you guys don't choose something, then of course I'll just pick whatever and we'll do whatever. But go ahead and get those in. I'm going to take a quick cheeky break while we get into setup mode here. We'll be doing the usual, let's actually open the timer, 30-minute sprints. Change that because I had it set at 20, 15-minute breaks, and we're going to be doing 3 of those, as is our usual. Sometimes when I'm editing, I do have a tendency to pause the timer near the end if I'm like near the end of a page and just want a couple extra seconds. So be prepared for that. I might elongate a sprint or two. But that's what we're going to be doing today. And I have to say, it just feels really nice to be getting back into the regular swing of things. Last week didn't really feel like a return to work because my schedule was so confused and a little random because of how shitty I was feeling. So it's really nice to just be back into the usual groove, to be getting to say all of the things that I've said to you guys. I kind of, the longest minute is the last for sure, in more ways than one. Like I kind of kept thinking in the lead up to the stream, I was like, I have so much stuff to say about my whole break experience. I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to fit it into the usual time. And you guys have been just really cool about letting me just sit here and rant about how everything went down. So thank you for that. We are going to get to it. Because I saw that Faded Stardust has a plan for all 3 of the sprints today, and I'm actually really excited. I think that's awesome. So I'm going to go reheat my coffee. I'm going to get my head in the game. And when we get back, we're going to set up all your redeems. Core Author, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. It's your stream. You set the pace. Listen, I just had a lot to say. Some people have also heard the computer story like 4 times now, because it keeps coming up in different places. So if that was like not your first time hearing all that, thank you for sitting through it for people who hadn't heard it before. But now we're gonna do the work. The part of the stream that I assume you guys are actually here for is not listening to me yammer, but I assume it's the work part. You guys will correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm going to take a quick break. Don't forget to get up, to stretch, move around, grab yourself something to eat and or drink if you need it. Core Author, let us know what kind of stuff you're working on, if you're working on something, if you want to share. And I will be right back to get us into the sprints. Nice to meet you. Working on my next book, a mid-2000s punk rock novel. That sounds awesome! I like that you said that as a declarative and not an imperative. You know us so well. Listen. I've been around the block a few times. Oh my goodness. How's it going? Are you at home today? Are you sneaking in from work? Working on a sci-fi slowish romance novella, longer than a shorter than a novel. Interesting. Now, I put my blanket away because I was too hot with the blanket, but now I'm too cold without the blanket. So I'm gonna get the blanket again. It's gonna be one of those days, isn't it? Where I'm gonna be constantly getting the blanket out and putting the blanket away. I see how it's gonna be. At home today, my schedule's weird this week. Off today, work tomorrow, off Thursday, then work Friday to Tuesday. Then vacation! Are there vacation plans, Mai? Are you going somewhere? Are you staying in? Oh, forgot to tell you guys, like, the biggest thing that happened, because I got so distracted by talking about the computer stuff. We kind of talked about this a little bit on the Mama Pepper stream, but Ghost's parents surprised us with a very big Christmas present, and it's a cruise. And we're going to Scotland, I believe it's Finland, and Iceland. So that's happening in July. We were not expecting that. We just did a big trip with them 2 years ago, I think. So this was quite big. Cruise stream! I don't think we'll be able to stream from the cruise because my understanding is that the Wi-Fi on the ship is limited. But maybe when we get back, we can do a stream where we just talk about it. That'd be kind of cool. Mama Pepper is a delight. Papa Pepper as well. I did mention the stream to Papa Pepper, and he was not interested. It was not his jam, shall we say. Let's do a typing in the kitchen. Mai did not redeem this, but I know that Mai likes typing in the kitchen. So let's type in the kitchen. Let's get out Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, Papa Pepper is not, it's not that he's not like a conversationally person. He's very active. He likes to be doing stuff. So I think to him, the idea of kind of sitting in front of a camera and just chatting is not like his idea of fun. PowerPoint presentation of vacation photos. We can certainly try that. Can certainly try. Okay. And then I don't think I've tried these backgrounds in the kitchen either. So this is the underwater one. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off for now. Let's see. So that's what it looks like if I turn off the thunder effects, which we may want to do. Although it looks pretty good with that as well. So it looks like with nights, we have the glowy fishes, and then this is the evening. And I can turn off. This is the evening. This is the afternoon. He is a man of action. He likes to be doing stuff. And this is the morning. So let me know. I'm going to put it at nighttime for now so that we can see the glowing fishes. This is really cool, actually. Glowy lights? Yes. Okay, so we will do nighttime fishes. And do you like it with the lightning? So this is lightning on. Just makes it slightly darker, and this is lightning off. So let me know if we have a preference there. I like that the hedgehog is reading, but it also looks like he's just kind of eyeing up the pizza. Have it on? Perfect. Perfection. Ooh. And I need to set up my timer on my phone for reasons. To open one more thing so that animations are going to freeze for just a second here. Okay. Alright, we should be good to go. I'm gonna have to use that one myself. Yes, I haven't played around with all of the train backgrounds in, like, the house yet, but it's really cool that they have them now. Pizza is distracting. All right, I think we're good to go. Let's get into things. Let's I'm hot again. I'm gonna put the blanket aside and see if I don't need it. It's got to be that weird temperature where it's just warm enough in the house that sometimes I don't feel like I need the blanket, and sometimes I do. All right, let me check notes. Most of my notes are for the end of this, for the end of this chapter. Alright. I shall attempt to write a dragon battle today. You can do it! I believe! I promised myself I would try and write while your stream was going instead of playing Pal World. You got this, you can do it. Let's get 30 minutes on the clock. And do the thing. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Took a moment for Word to load that tab, and I thought, maybe it's not gonna load. I shouldn't be surprised. It used to always do that when I switched tabs for the first time. Trying to write a slow build romance between a hybrid human space elf and a humanoid dragoness. Nice. 2 fighters and a wizard fighting 2 dragons. Well, that sounds sweaty. Boy, I really stressed that this character was young, like 3 times in 2 sentences. Maya. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Just got to work. Maya, I hope it's a smooth shift for you. Please take care of yourself. We love you as well. I'm gonna do the thing. The thing we talked about where the last minute is the longest minute. Key's prediction is coming true. I'm letting it go. Oops. All right. First sprint done. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I have a text apparently. Let's see who it's from. It's from a ghost of pepper. Ah, how did the sprint go for you, my friends? I hope it went well. The fighters are OP. The wizard isn't quite sure what he got himself into. I mean, depending on the size of those dragons, the wizard probably should be shaking in their boots. Wizards are squishy. Don't let the bard roll to seduce one unless they have the constitution stat to back up. The current bard in the story already seduced her share of dragons. Browse. She's kind of done for now. There's so much I need to figure out about my dragon-like species. I know they have wings and tails, and the nobles have ornate feather-like scale crests. Ooh, that sounds pretty. Horns may be a feature, but I'm not sure yet. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I hope that productivity is finding all of you well. Oh my goodness. I think what I shall do... didn't get much writing done, but I did get my to-do list organized for the week. Writing next timer. Heck yeah! Hey, being organized is important. I spend a significant amount of time every Sunday getting organized. I need a really Greek name for the character I'm going to be playing come February. He's an import from a Danme, so his original name would not fit the setting. Interesting. Of course, the only name... the name I... Sorry. The name I instantly thought of was Kerberos, who's the little plushie in Cardcaptor Sakura, who's supposed to be named for Cerberus. It's one of my resolutions for this year to plan stuff out and be more financially responsible. Well, good luck, Mai. Those both sound like reasonable goals. I'm a big fan of goals versus resolutions, because you want to do something that you can measure, because otherwise you'll fall off the wagon pretty quickly. And both of those sound like things that are easy to measure and set benchmarks for. Had a good planning session for my writing exercises during the next 2 sprints. Heck yeah! I really appreciated that you planned out what you were going to do today, Fated Stardust. It got me really motivated to get stream back up and running. Not that I wasn't priorly motivated, but there was definitely some nerves. Like I said, there was a small part of me that was like, I'm gonna hit the stream button and everything's gonna go sideways. But it didn't. And so here we are. I might pop to the washroom quick here. We usually do it at some point during the break, but I might do it here at the top of the break. So that you guys can get in your redeems for the next sprint. We do have a spirit companion. We'll be hanging out with Pickles, aka Raptor, next sprint. But if anybody wants to redeem an activity or a location to switch it up, we can get those things set up as well. This is also your reminder to get up, stretch, move around, grab something to eat and or drink if you need to. Use the restroom, change the way you've been sitting. Take care of those bodies, because once you screw them up like I screwed up mine, it's much harder to get them unscrewed. This is actually my first writing day this year. I took a break too, and I wanted something fun and light to get back into the swing of things. I think it's a great idea, especially if you're starting a new project or if you're trying to get more connected with the character in your current project. The things that you mentioned on the Discord are really great ways to just get into a character's head and get in tune with them. So I appreciate that you're using the stream to do that, Fated Stardust. I hope that you like the actual exercises and how they turn out when you get there. I'm going to pause the timer while I pop AFK so that I don't eat up all of our break time, and I will be right back. Lad is here with 4 months of subscription. Thank you so much for subscribing, Mad Lad. Heck yeah. Oh my goodness. How's it going, my friend? What have you been up to over the break? I'm gonna release the timer. Oh my goodness. Type at the bay window. We can do that. Can be done. I've definitely done a thing in this outline where I've left a bunch of notes saying, put in more details about this, that, and the other thing. And then I get into the scene and I read through it and I'm like, it doesn't really need more details. There is such a thing as overkill. So it's funny when I disagree with myself. Oh, Mad Lad, how's it going? Sometimes present Megan knows more than past Megan. You know, it's funny because a lot of times I'll leave notes for myself where I'm like, the end of this scene is really bad, it needs fixed. I did that a lot with the Aravalia Chronicles. There were there were certain scenes, I can think of at least 2 off the top of my head, where I was like, this is horrible, it needs to be completely rewritten. And then I actually read through it and I'm like, really, it's not that bad. It's probably fine, it just needs a few tweaks. So it's funny how, like, in the moment when you write something, you have an idea of what you think it should be. And then when you let it sit for a while and you come back to it and you look at it with fresh eyes, you're like, actually, it doesn't need that much. Which is one of the reasons why I try to leave space in between when I write something and when I edit it, is so that I can look at it with fresh eyes. But it's really interesting sometimes to see, for me, which things I end up feeling confident about, and which things I end up being like, no, this should have been different, and then I'm like, actually, it's totally fine. Doing well. How you're feeling? I'm doing a lot better this week. Last week I did not feel good at all. Also, there was a whole computer story that happened over the break, but we're here. I do still, you guys have probably noticed, I have a little bit of the cough still. I've been debating whether or not to call my doctor about it, because some days it gets really to the point where it doesn't bother me, and then some days it flares up again. So I probably need to call, because it kind of feels like something may have gotten into my chest and is just kind of lingering. But aside from that, I'm doing pretty good. Feeling a lot better this week than I did last week. And just kind of taking it day by day. Mad Lad, how are you feeling? How was your break? Did you do anything for Christmas? Oh my goodness. I can't believe that not only is it 2026, but it's already January 20th. This month has just been such a roller coaster. I can't believe it's more than half over already. It'll be February before we know it. Wowie. I have such plans for this year. obviously haven't really had a chance to talk about it since I was gone. But I did finish Ghost Path last year. It is just the 3 books. There's no intention of expanding that into a larger series. So this year, I'm going to be starting a series called Beyond the Mirror, which is a reference for anyone who's like, hey, wait a minute. It is a reference. And it's basically there was an accident earlier in Domran's history than what occurs within the Aravalia Chronicles. So it's like pre-Aravalia Chronicles starting, where he was kind of split in two, which he doesn't know that this happened, but he was kind of split in two, and this second version of him ended up shunted into another world. Sort of like the evil goatee world from Star Trek, hence the reference. And I'm going to be starting on that. I'm going to be starting to chronicle those adventures this year, so I'm excited about that. I was gifted a really lovely edition of the OED. Leather-bound, box, gorgeous, foiling. OED. The OED? What's that? Found a chunk in Shade Tree Rest where I completely missed a transition. OMG, Megan, I totally haven't told you. I got my top surgery date over the break. I'm having it on March 3rd. Fated Stardust, that's awesome! Oxford English Dictionary. I got ya. That sounds fucking gorgeous. Fated Stardust, congrats. I think he'd be okay with me saying this. If you have any questions, if you need someone to talk to about that, you can always message It's Woof. He has been through that process, so I'm sure he would not mind talking to you if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that. And that's awesome. I of course hope everything goes smoothly, and we will be here. Please let us know how it goes. Am I hearing send pictures in Discord? Yeah. Yeah. That sounds amazing. It's leather-bound and foiling. Show us the dictionary. You know, if you think about it, I shouldn't say this because it could get me into trouble, but if you think about it, as writers, as people who are deeply into the study of language and its uses, the dictionary is a little bit like our Bible. It is the holder of the information, the base information of the words that we use. It is the basic building blocks of everything that we do, is the dictionary. What a beautiful gift. And now that you found that missing transition, I'm sure you won't have any trouble writing it. Fancy dictionary equals a writer porn. Is it safe to post? Yeah. I don't disagree. If Twitch ate that, I would be sad. The dictionary is our Old Testament. The thesaurus is the New Testament. I like that. I like that. It is the keeper of the words and the base definition of the words. And if you are ever uncertain, you must go to the base definition of the word and see if it means what you hope that it means. And if it doesn't, then you must find a word that means what you hope it to mean. Thus is the word of the word. I don't know what I'm doing, you guys. The break is almost over, so I'm gonna switch back into editing mode. We are gathered here today to speak on the power of words. For words are the basis of all communication. They have the power to build and the power to destroy. Use them wisely. For truly the pen is mightier than the sword. For the sword cannot cleave the soul as words do. It's time for the second sprint, you guys. Thermal electrical energy? Thermal or electrical energy, no context. Thermal sounds sci-fi-y. Sounds like sci-fi to me. Someone tried to call me. I sent that to voicemail. Celadon, how's it going? I'm sorry, Sardonisms, that you're struggling with focus. I wish I could help. Probably gonna pause the timer again. Just, you know, be aware. Pause timer. The last 14 seconds are the longest. Do you like the mic attenuation on? I'm not sure what that means. What are you referring to? Peter, 47 months? Holy wow, thank you so much. Alright, I'm unleashing the timer. Sometimes the audio ducks, and now I'm not sure it's the mic. What do you mean the audio ducks? I am dumb with these things. Need baby explanation in order to understand. Is it something that happened before, or is this something new to this stream? Is it, like, skipping? Hey, Jess! How's it going? I'm not hearing anything that might be considered a duck or anything odd at all. Okay. Scrolling back up to read everything. The other just becomes randomly quieter. Well, I just turned down the audio at the end, so I just turned it up right now, and I just turned it down right now. So at the end of the sprint, I tend to turn it down for when I'm talking, and at the start of the sprint, I turn it up. But if it's happening during the sprint, that could be the shifting of the music in the game. It's in the Discord. Heck yeah, we'll go look at that picture. My MC will be healed by the power of heat. Ooh, that sounds pretty cool. As in curling up in front of a fireplace. Ah, very healing. His body will require intense thermal intake to stabilize the biotech in his body, as well as intravenous supply of precise nutrients. Ooh, very sci-fi. That sounds super cool, actually. That sounds like it could put, the character into some interesting situations. Just had the most random, sweetest thing pop into my head. Tyrannith, my dark elf fighter, has a serpentine owl. It just popped into my head. It was given by one of his companions to accompany him through the ages because the other companions wouldn't be able to. Aw, that's very sweet. Now I need to revise previous parts of the story to account for humans being endothermic and having higher body temps. Heck yeah. Going alright, working on my shorter novel at the moment, trying to figure out where I want my character development to go. I rarely explore my own experience with being multicultural in writing, but I think I'll give it a shot this time. Good luck, Caledon. Sardonism said, can confirm that removing a bad piece of brain tissue did not, in fact, change the fact that I'm ADHD as fuck. Brains do be brains. When I get to writing the dragon battle, this draft may break 90k. Hell yeah, am I? Doing so in an urban fantasy dystopian solar punk novella, so I'm curious to see how it pans out. Caledon, let us know. It sounds like an interesting project. Peter, how's it going? What is up? Appreciate you. Appreciate you subscribing. Appreciate you being here. Jess, happy Tuesday. Hey, if you guys do hear anything that seems weird, please do let me know, right? This is my first time using OBS since the reinstall, And I only barely know what I'm doing in the first place. So I appreciate you letting me know that potentially the sound is dipping. Got 600 words so far today. Time for a gaming break. Hell yeah, Valwraith. We're slowly getting into the new place. Unpacking in real life is ridiculous. I hate moving. I love, like, being settled into a place. I hate the process of getting there. It takes so much time. We need teleportation so that we can just push everything to the center of a room and teleport it. Like the game, not so much in real life. I feel that. Pie! Hello. Gonna be home in like 30 minutes? Waiting for a bus? Well, we've got at least 40 minutes of stream left, minimum. So you might just make it. You might just squeak in, Pie. It might just happen. That might just happen. Not great. Tonight was the vote for which film to make at the filmmaking class. My film got 3 votes. I'm absolutely humiliated, and one guy who didn't vote for my film kept telling me how good it was and how funny and interesting, and I'm like, get fully fucked. Oh no, Peter, I'm sorry you didn't win. But it sounds like it's not because your script wasn't good. It just wasn't the one that got voted for. And you can now use that script for yourself. I've written 576, 1054 if you count the outlining words. Hell yeah, Faded Stardust. How did the first activity go? How did the first exercise go? Are you happy with it? Just say blub blub. All right, Pie. Blub blub, I am octopus. Blub blub, I am octopus. Blub blub. Blub 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 blub. It turned into a dialogue-heavy scene, which was surprising, but it went well. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I tend to favor dialogue myself over descriptions. Ooh. My tentacles are entangulated. Oh my goodness. If anyone would like to redeem a spirit companion, an activity, or a background for the final sprint today, you know where to find the redeems. They are down below. Oh my goodness. I mean, Peter, do look on the bright side. You might be able to use that script for yourself now. You can do whatever you want with it. You can still make it. You can make it however you want. You don't have to be beholden to other people. The most important thing is that you wrote it and you're happy with it. The next is the action scene. Hiya! I don't know why I did that. The next is the action scene. I'm nervous about writing fighting, which is why I'm doing this in the first place. You got this, Faded Stardust. Practice is the only way to make perfect. Yeah, Peter. Make your film. The hat, this was made, I haven't mentioned in a while, this was made by the fabulous It's Woof. It's Woof crocheted this for me, and also this little octopus was crocheted for me by Woof as well. So yeah. Woof. Very talented with the yarns. Very talented with the yarns. Cheers, Mad Lad. I think I will save the second hydrate because we are about to take a quick break. I just got all settled in my octopus hat, but I'll keep it on. I'll keep it on. I won't count the break time as part of the time. We're about to take our final break for the strem. Which means it's time to get up, stretch, move around, grab something to eat and or drink, change the position you're sitting in, all that lovely stuff. Take your meds if you need to take your meds. Check that you've done that if you need to check that you've done that, because it's a thing that some people gotta do. And I will pause the timer while I pop AFK. I will turn the volume up slightly when I go AFK, just as a warning for Porky. Yeah. Get in your redeems if you have something you want to hang out with /C/do for the final sprint. Blub blub. We'll be right back. Blub blub. I have returned, blub blub. We're back. Blub blub. Let me resume timer. Let's take a quick peek at the Discord. Maya's also in the kitchen typing. Heck yeah. Oh, mad lad. That is a beautiful, beautiful 2 volumes. Absolutely gorgeous. Gold leaf, leather bound box set. That is flippin' pretty. Did I do the second hydrate? We'll do it now. Jess wanted first, but just got this lousy redeem. Not even a t-shirt. Not even a t-shirt. Where is the sheep? I like that you call it the demon sheep. I wonder what the sheep does if you play with it. Whoops. Oh, that sheep does not care. There we go. That sheep did not give a fuck about that star. Not even a little. Let's change the background. Back to Lurk, wanted to say hi, but just got home and have to do a few things. Just appreciate you. I hope that the unpacking goes well. My heart is a little not quite heart-shaped there. Hope that the unpacking continues to go well. Yeah. Some of them do. Like, some of the play animations, the characters just kind of look at the star but don't really move, which I think is funny. I like the little carrot knight. He swipes at it with his sword. So here we go. We'll be moving into our final sprint here for the day, to get that finished. I guess I left it turned up when I came back. So I've got 4 more pages to get through, and then we'll be doing a raid. Yeah, Carrot Boy attack. I like the different animations because when you wash the dishes, he cleans his shield. Woo! Really shook my desk there. And when you play with him, he swipes at the star. He's one of my favorite boys. I do have certain ones that I hang out with a lot. I hang out with the bat a lot. I hang out with the carrot knight a lot. I hang out with the cat a lot, honestly. I hang out with, like, the chapter pillar and the startergrade a lot. So one of the reasons why I started doing the redeems on stream was because I was like, I use the same, like, 5 spirits over and over, so it's cool to let other people pick them because you guys think of ones that I just don't often think of. And same with the activities, like, I tend to hang out in the bay window a lot, I tend to hang out at the fireplace a lot, and I just kind of forget about doing other things or going other places. So, you know, it's good to have you guys pick some of the stuff and encourage me to go to places and hang out with characters that I don't usually go to or hang out with. I'm gonna get back into editing mode here for our final sprint. And I hope that you guys have been feeling good and productive. It's good to be back. Jess, you too, good luck. Proto Matt, hello. Are you at home as well? Working on the unpacks? Oh, Pi must have gotten home. Good luck, Mai. You can do it. Pi is home. Blub blub. Save alert, everybody. Save that work. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 hydrates from Pi. A 1. A 2. A 3, and 1 more. 1 to grow on. Faded Stardust, you got this. Try not to get in your own way. Just turn off the brain and let the fingies go at it. You can do it, I believe. Grayson Hayes is rating. Welcome in. How's it going? How was your stream today and what were you up to? Streamer short but good, working on some chapter writing. Nice! Edits are going pretty good. We're on our final sprint, final 4 pages here. I have to make some tweaks to the conversation that's happening in this scene, but I think it's going to go pretty well. I also think it's time to take off the octopus hat, blub blub. Because we wore it for quite a bit more than 5 minutes. Can't stick around long, but wish you continued good vibes on the editing work. Thank you so much, Grayson Hayes, and thank you so much for the raid. I thought I was gonna have to tweak this conversation a lot, but I actually only made like one distinct change, and I think it worked out pretty well. Okay, I believe I have finished editing these 2 scenes. We did it! Chat. We did it. Gonna go see about getting my new glasses script filled. Glad to see you back as well, Sardonisms. Please take care of yourself. Get lots of good rest. Hitting that save button one more time for Pi and that redeem. Boop, boop, boop. My, did you hit 90k? I see that you were 834 words away. I hope you got there. One of my muses likes dark chocolate and Twizzler cherry nibs. Ooh, good choices. Promise if they get through the action scene, you'll write something they find warm and comforting as aftercare. Bribe that muse! He could also possibly admit to his identity, and it would likely solve the issue of him having to avoid areas where Summer Forest or Sky Forest song appeared. If she found out he was alive, it would likely start another round of hide and seek, where his childhood friend hunted him down, which in and of itself would be amusing. The catch was that Ash wasn't sure if Summer would hug him or murder him when they met again. Might murder through hugging. Evil laughter. Next stream, I'm gonna be halfway to 11 streak, which means 110 for Pi. Heck yeah. I lost pretty much all of my streaks over the break, which makes me a little bit sad, but I also knew it was gonna happen. We had family over. We were focused on that. So we weren't really paying much attention to what was happening on Twitch, so I think the only streak that made it through for me was my Ghost Pepper streak. Wrote 127 words and it killed my brain to do so. Hey, Faded Stardust, you tried. The most important thing is you set a goal, you earnestly tried to do it, you discovered that action scenes are tough from this character's perspective, and, you know, you gotta work at it, but you did. You worked at it. You tried. It's still a win. Megan isn't streaking anymore? No, I gotta get all my streaks back. I'm 564 away. I didn't quite get there, but I will work on finishing it up while I eat lunch before I do my last required task before games. Heck yeah! Speaking of lunch, I gotta go get me some of that. The animations are gonna freeze here for a second while I open my Firefox. Let's see who is on Twitch that we can go raid. Who do be about at the moment? My goodness. Haven't done a raid in so long. I did do words. It's the first time I've written in a month, so I'm good with it. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think we can specifically call this a successful strem. What's for lunch? Probably leftover spaghetti. Probably leftover spaghetti. Let's see. Most of our writer friends are playing games at the moment, but Estantia is up. Maybe we'll head over there. Yes! Straight pasta, no sauce. No, the sauce is already on it. Ghost Pepper made the spaghetti, sauce and all. It's just in the fridge, just needs to heat up, so I might have some spaghetti and toast for lunch. Making ramen and getting stuff together for tuna salad for lunches the next couple days. Sounds delicious. What sauce, though? It's just tomato sauce, like roasted tomato and garlic. To see that everything mostly seems like it still works. I'm gonna get the raid started. You guys, this was great. It was nice to finally be back here again to get to share my work time with you, to see that everything is mostly working. Whoa, I don't know why I'm coughing here at the end. I will be back tomorrow morning at the same time, 10:30 a.m. PST, minus the massive rant about computer stuff, hopefully. And we will be working on My Little Domrin, so there'll be lots of clicky clacks tomorrow. We're going to be doing some writing, working on just a fun little writing prompt to keep things fresh. And then I'll be back again on Thursday to outline the edits for the last book of Everyone's Child, so you can catch me here both of those times. And you guys, it just feels so nice to be back in normal territory. I hope you all have a lovely day with much creativity and productivity and rest and relaxation at the end of it all. See you tomorrow, Faded Stardust. I'm glad to see you again. Pi, glad to have you. I will ninja in tomorrow. Mai will be waiting for you. Mad Lad, thanks for hanging out. I gotta go. The raid's about to pop. I love you all. Goodbye.